folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. The weather is crazy today. We've got like some bipolar weather, and I don't mean that to be offensive to anyone that may suffer from it. That's not what I meant. It really is. We started off with a pretty warm overnight low, almost 50, and then this morning we had a crazy thunderstorm. Very little rain, but lots of lightning, and then all of a sudden we got hail, and then that stopped. Had a little bit of rain, and that stopped, and then an hour or two later we had sleet and snow, and now we're below freezing. And you can probably see here. It's just little patches that's stuck, but surfaces are iced over. It's crazy, and then they say that in the next, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday, we're supposed to be up to 70 for a high. So we're just all over the board. Keeping with being all over the board, let's go the same route with the news. Donald Trump, in his court case in New York related to his business, the judge ruled that he owes the state of New York $364 million. He's also been banned from doing business in the state of New York for 3 years. Here's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and say that Donald Trump is innocent and squeaky clean or anything. Most of you that think rationally and can separate things, you would admit that there's no politician that is. But this is the first time they've gone after a former president like this. So, of course, I believe and agree that it's political stuff. So Russia has this guy, or had this guy that was considered the biggest opponent for Vladimir Putin. He was, kind of head of the opposition party. He mysteriously died in prison. And, well, regardless of what you think about that, it's not that unusual. That's happened before in Russia. Joe Biden has come out and basically accused it of being a Putin, and maybe it is. But it really is right now the time to be doing that. Come on. Is there anything we're going to be able to do? It's a domestic issue in Russia. So who knows? Also, Putin has said that they plan on expanding their military, the numbers of soldiers in their military, by almost 500,000 this year. 450,000, I think. Sounds like they're building, and according to the news, they're not conscripting them. They're encouraging them to volunteer. So that just shows that they're kind of getting ready for things, right? And I can tell you for certain, not without even looking at the news, that our military numbers are down. I was at a town hall meeting a few weeks back, and there was a 2-star general that was there, and this wasn't the topic of discussion, but he did talk about for a brief moment in his little talk about how the numbers are so bad, they're so down in the military, that they're taking guys, at least on the base that he ran, they're taking guys that were in maybe more support roles, or like security of the base, gate guards, different things like that, and they're shifting them into combat roles because there's not enough guys in combat roles. And he also talked briefly about how the lack of senior NCOs was really serious. And that's coming directly from him. I'm not going to tell you who it was or what the base or anything. It's irrelevant. You can believe me or not, but the news backs that up. So what we're seeing is that, as we've seen for at least a couple of more years, we're watching the world kind of line up, or at least a lot, kind of line up and prepare themselves for war. Europe has been talking about it. Several countries in Europe have made public announcements saying that they are gearing up for war and that they're encouraging their citizens. There's even been some talk in certain countries of citizen groups training to protect themselves, and if there was an invasion from Russia. I personally can't see Russia invading. I mean, Putin says he wasn't, but he also said he wasn't going to invade Ukraine right before he invaded Ukraine. So, you can't necessarily trust the guy in that regard. So maybe they are, maybe they're not. I don't know. But we are seeing a definite buildup, right? Especially on the heels of this recent, top secret classified scare of Russia putting weapons in space, kind of thing, which according to the news they're just have announced that they're going to start developing weapons to put into space, and that could take years if they literally are just now starting. It could take years for them to get to that point. I think all in all, it's the same kind of stuff I tell you all the time. It's just we're getting further down that road. We're moving closer and closer, and we have to get ready for that. We have to keep our heads on a swivel and our ready to move at a moment's notice. When we look at all the stuff, and of course I've just covered really a couple little things. There's also, I saw some things in the news. I've been fairly busy today, so I haven't been able to pay much attention, but there's more talk of how expensive things are getting. Just this last week, inflation numbers come out 3.1% or something, which are completely bogus numbers. Completely bogus. There is no one that's paying only 3.1% more for anything that they've purchased. It's not happening. We all know that grocery prices are at least 30% higher than they were 2 or 3 years ago. At least, average across the board. Some things significantly more than 30% higher. We're strangling out the country. We're destroying the country from within. I mean, all this hype of China going to hit us from coming in through the border and tens of thousands, a month coming across, or Russia dropping nukes or EMPs on us from space, or taking out our satellites, or Iran doing something, the cyber attack. I mean, sure, those things are possible, and it could happen. But we're doing a pretty bang-up job right now of destroying ourselves by keeping the borders open, by inflating the dollar, by destroying the housing market, by making employers making it difficult for them to keep their people employed. I mean, it's almost daily that there's some kind of it's certainly weekly, but almost daily there's some kind of announcement of some company cutting their workforce by 5%, 8%, 10%, 20%. Those are not signs of a healthy economy. That's certainly not signs that Bidenomics is working well. Even though that's what they're telling you, there's no signs of that. We're also destroying ourselves from within with the morality issue. I mean, we're as a country, as an official whatever, they're doing a pretty bang-up job of destroying every idea of family, of traditions, of Bible, God, morality, any of those things. They're all the enemy now. And this DEI woke agenda, completely, that morality is relative, and it's and children can choose what they want, and this person likes children. Well, that's just how he identifies, right? It's just how that guy that 65-year-old guy dressing like a woman that identifies as being attracted to little children. Wow, that's just how he identifies. It's just how things are, right? It's disgusting. It's repugnant. And this is the country that we live in. And for those of you that may roll your eyes and think it's crazy sometimes that I talk about how we have to prepare not just our own selves in our homes, but our communities around us. I mean, if you're not waking up and realizing it, I don't know what to tell you. There's an old movie from the 70s. I don't have to tell you things are bad. There's a line in it. And they are. I shouldn't have to tell you things are bad. They're bad. It's not the end, but they're bad, and we got to be ready for that. Ready for that spiritually, okay? Spiritually, mentally, physically, all that stuff. Because the old America that we've grown up in has been dying for a long time, and it's just about to see the final nail in the coffin, I think, at least from a social standpoint. And we have to be ready for that. So get your houses in order, folks, and prepare yourselves, your family, and your community. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.